This move was supposed to be the final piece of the puzzle for a championship run, but instead it has turned into a total nightmare because Porzingis has only played 17 minutes of basketball for the team. During those few minutes on the floor, he managed to score 12 points before disappearing back into the locker room with what Steve Kerr is calling a mysterious illness. This situation got even weirder when rumors started flying about a condition called POTS, which led to a massive public apology from Kerr after he initially called the reports misinformation. Now, the Warriors are sitting with a losing record since the trade happened, while Jonathan Kuminga is playing like a true superstar in Atlanta with elite shooting numbers. The team is currently waiting for Porzingis to join them on a road trip, but nobody actually knows when he will be healthy enough to play a real game of NBA basketball again. The front office is under a lot of pressure because they gave up a young star and a great shooter for a player who cannot even stay on the active roster. Every fan is wondering if the Hawks were honest about the health of their player or if the Warriors simply did not do their homework before signing the papers. This is a very scary time for the fans because the championship window is closing fast and the team looks weaker than it has in many years. Please subscribe for daily NBA videos. I cover all teams, so subscribe if you want to stay up to date. I honestly look at this trade and see one of the biggest robberies in NBA because the Warriors gave up a young star for absolutely nothing in return so far. It feels like the Hawks front office is laughing all the way to the bank. While they watched Jonathan Kuminga blossom into the superstar, we all knew he could be under the right circumstances and coaching. The Golden State front office took a massive risk by moving a high-flying athlete for a player who has always struggled to stay healthy, and now they are paying the ultimate price for that lack of foresight and planning. The fans are right to call this a total fleece because you simply cannot trade a 21-year-old building block for a player who cannot even stay on the floor for 20 minutes without disappearing into the training room. It is a total disaster that has left the fan base feeling betrayed and confused about the direction of the organization. We are watching a championship team crumble because they made a panic move that did not make any sense from a long-term perspective. If this does not change soon, the trade will go down terribly, and it barely happened. The medical staff for the Golden State Warriors is under fire like never before because they should have seen these red flags from a mile away during the physical examination process. It is truly hard to believe that a professional organization with so much money and so many resources could miss a medical condition that is now keeping their star player on the bench for weeks at a time. I really wonder what was happening in that training room when they were supposed to be checking the health of the big man, because it seems like they just glanced at him and said he was fine to play. The fans are rightfully angry because they expect the highest level of care and intelligence from a team that has won 4 championships in the last decade. If the medical team failed to catch a serious illness before the trade was finalized, then there need to be some serious changes made to the personnel in that department as soon as possible. Remember how the Bulls got less picks from the Hornets because of Kobe White's health? You would expect something like that to happen here. But listen to this, because it gets even crazier when you think about how much power the head coach has over these decisions. I have always respected Steve Kerr for his vision and his ability to win games, but I am starting to lose my faith in his ability to see the future of this roster. He is a legend and a Hall of Fame coach, but his vision for this team seems to be clouded by a desire to win right now at any cost. I am officially out on the vision of Steve Kerr because it feels like he is trying to fix something that was not broken by bringing in older players who cannot stay healthy. The way he handled the Kuminga situation was already frustrating for many fans, but this trade is the final straw for people who want to see the team grow and stay competitive. I do not see how he can look at this roster and think that they are better off now than they were before the trade happened. It feels like he is clinging to a style of play that does not work without the right athletes on the floor to execute his complex system. The fans are calling for change because they are tired of seeing the same mistakes being made over and over again while the stars get older and the bench gets thinner. I want to believe in him because he has given us so many great memories, but it is hard to support a leader who seems to be making moves out of desperation instead of logic. Please tell me if I am missing something in the comments because I want to understand why a legendary coach would allow this to happen to his team. We are witnessing the possible end of an era, and it must be very painful to watch for anyone who loves that team. The most frustrating part of this entire situation is that the Warriors are wasting the final years of the prime of Steph Curry by surrounding him with players who cannot play. Steph is still one of the best players in the world, and he deserves to have a team around him that can actually compete for a championship every single season. Instead of building a solid foundation, the front office is taking wild swings on players with major health concerns and letting their best young athletes walk out the door. It feels like they are throwing away the legacy of the greatest shooter in history just to save some money or to try a new experiment that is clearly failing. The fans are heartbroken because they know that we only have a few years left of watching Steph play at this elite level. Every game that he has to carry the entire team on his back is a game that is wearing him down and making it harder for him to stay healthy himself. They should be doing everything possible to give him the help he needs, but this trade did the exact opposite by taking away his best young teammate. If the Warriors do not fix this mess soon, they will have nobody to blame but themselves for wasting the greatest gift the franchise has ever received. The mystery surrounding the actual illness is causing a lot of fans to speculate and talk about things that are very sensitive and potentially offensive. People are saying that he allegedly has a condition called POTS, which affects his heart rate and his ability to stand up for long periods of time without feeling dizzy. Fans speculate that this could be a career-ending issue if it is not managed correctly, which makes the trade look even more insane for the Warriors. I want to be very clear that I am not saying he has this illness as a fact, but it is what people are speculating in the forums and on social media right now. The team has been so secretive about the whole thing that it has created a void that is being filled with rumors and tall tales. If the illness is truly that serious, then the Warriors have essentially traded for a player who might never be a high-level athlete again in his life. It is a very sad situation for the player if he is truly suffering, but it is also a massive failure for the team that brought him in. We need transparency from the organization so that the fans can stop guessing and start understanding what is actually going on with their team. The fact that Porzingis is on an expiring contract makes this whole deal feel like a massive waste of time and energy for everyone involved. If he does not play this year, then the Warriors gave up Kuminga for literally nothing, and they will not even have the chance to re-sign him without taking a huge risk. The fans are terrified that he will just walk away in free agency and the Warriors will be left with a giant hole in their roster and no way to fill it. But here's the real kicker, because the salary cap situation makes it even harder for them to find a replacement if he decides to leave. They are backed into a corner and they have no leverage because everyone knows they are desperate for help. This is the kind of move that can set a franchise back for 5 or 10 years if they are not careful about how they move forward from here. I cannot believe that a smart front office would put themselves in a position where they have so little control over their own future. It feels like a total collapse of the high standards that this team used to live by every single day. Do you guys think Porzingis will play for the Warriors again? Why do you think he is out for so long?